For being a slapper, it's super important that we maintain space between our ear and our hands, and we want to make sure that we create the space so that we have a direct path to the ball. We also want to make sure that we're ensuring that we're keeping the barrel behind us. So there's a couple of drills that will help us ensure that we keep this separation between our ear and our back. A common challenge with slap hitting is having our momentum going forward and keeping our hands back. Our upper half and our bottom half are doing two separate things. So my bottom half is being super aggressive going towards the field, and my upper half has to stay turned, my core has to be squared, and I want to keep my hands back. So I want to make sure that I am keeping my hands back. So this is kind of a common problem. This is a common problem for most slappers, is where they want to bring their hands with them. So I have a great couple of drills that can help you feel that separation. Why it's so important that we keep this separation and keeping our hands back. Same thing if I'm going to hit for power. I've got to create that bat lag. I've got to create that separation so that now I'm getting in a good slot to go and swing. Same thing with slapping. I want to keep that separation because I'm not committing to a pitch too soon. If I'm going to power slap, I want to create that bat lag. If I'm going to bounce slap, I want to make sure that I'm keeping my hands above the pitch. So this first drill is going to be great for helping us with that separation. So what you want to do is get a band and place it as high as you can. And we're going to get in just a little bit of wave. We don't want this to be too snug or too tight. So now I'm just going to get my hands in a batting stance where they would be in my batting stance. And as I go through, I'm going to step and keep my hands where they started. So what we don't want is we don't want to keep our hands close to us as we go through, but we want to make sure that we're keeping that separation. So we should be able to see daylight between our hand and our ear. The next one is now working on our core and that crossover. So it's super important in our crossover that we're engaging our core, keeping it center. Again, I want to keep my TheraBand or my band that I have. I'm going to keep it as high as I can. Now I want a slight tug, and now I'm just going to be stationary in my crossover. Now working on trying to engage my core, but now I'm almost doing a hammer or a cross pull, trying to tug and keep my gauge and core. So what I don't want is, as I'm pulling the band, I don't want to turn. So making sure that I'm keeping that gauge super engaged, making sure I'm keeping that core super engaged. And the last one, same thing. Now I'm going to pick a band that's a little bit lower. Same thing, I'm gonna get in my crossover, but now I'm working on keeping my hands further away, but now I'm just trying to train a little bit more of my core. And this is gonna be good too for helping keep that feeling of having separation, but trying to stay through a zone if I'm doing a hard slap, and also making sure that I'm keeping my core super tight. So with these three drills, they will help you with your separation. They'll help you with engaging your core. The first one, remember, was our actual walkthroughs. We were actually walking through our steps, but trying to create that separation. The bands were creating resistance. The second one, we call those crossovers. So now we're just trying to engage our core, staying at crossover, but working with our hands high, working through the zone. We're just trying to engage our core. The last one's just kind of rotation. We're gonna have the band be at a little middle to low on our wall, but now we're just trying to engage our core a little bit more, trying to get more rotational, getting our hips to work with us as we rotate through. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you go like this video, comment so I know which video you want to see next, subscribe so that you can see the next video. I'm Natasha Watley with this Tasha tip, and I will see you next time.